Good morning, Dr. Kate here to have a conversation this morning about the new feminism, right? All the work that's happening around women finding our voice, being able to stand up and say no more. And we could get focused on that being an outside job because it is on a certain level, right? It's about us as women being able to say our no, to say that, no, you cannot touch me, no, right? The whole sexual harassment exposure now about us needing to find our power inside of us that says, no, this is how you can treat me and this is how you don't get to treat me, okay? So we have that piece of the conversation of women stepping into our power. Then I work with fear, right? I work with fear that has dominated my life like forever, right? I've worked really hard through many different levels to find a way to really work with my fear so that it's not stopping me. And as women, as a culture of women who have been repressed, oppressed, suppressed for thousands of years, this is our work, right? This is our work as the new feminism. It's us reclaiming our voices, our truth, our perception even, right? I had a huge issue growing up where I couldn't trust my own perception because I was told that that wasn't the correct perception, right? And so that whole piece comes into it of how do we step into, this is my experience, this is my truth. And part of that is that we have to face our fears. We have to acknowledge how fear has run us, kept us captive, kept us stuck. And work with it not as it's the evil, enemy, but that it's our teacher. It's our teacher, right? As women, to see our fear and embrace it so that we can begin to love, show up, and be empowered from within. So that's what we're talking about today. And I want to really invite people to step in and share with me where you're coming from, what's going on for you. Pretty soon I'm going to set up where we can have more interaction. I just haven't gotten there yet. So this is still sort of me talking and you guys hopefully showing up and sharing. So the new feminism, from my point of view, is women stepping into our own ability to show up, love, accept ourselves, work with our own fears, and feel empowered. And that's, it's not a small job, but it's kind of what's being called forth for this sort of age of craziness and consciousness that's possible right now. Because on one hand, we have so much going on that looks very anti-feminist, right? We have a lot of things that are looking like the backlash of women stepping into our power. And that's going to happen. That's true. But it doesn't mean that we give up. It doesn't mean that we let go and start, going and hiding out. We don't want to hide out. We want to keep stepping into our power. We want to keep finding our voice and working with our fear from an empowered place so that we can show up. We can show up in the world and do what we came here to do. So how do we do that, right? Why is it important? Well, I don't know about you, but living in fear and working with that throughout my life has not been an easy thing. And being able to step out of that story, whatever our fear stories are, like this is as good as it gets, right? Being in a bad marriage or a bad situation and we feel like that this is as good as it's going to get. And the courage it takes for us to find that part of us that says, no, this is not acceptable. I'm going to say no to this and do whatever it takes to move through this. That's powerful. That's us finding our truth as women. So how important is it, right? It's pretty big. We have to be able to find that courage, find that self-worth, right? Find our deeper inner soul connection, right? So when my book, I talk about being the queen of the mind, right? Working with our belief system, being the heroine of our bodies, so that we have the courage to feel our feelings, to find our truth, to find our boundaries, right? That takes courage. And then to be connected spiritually. So this is what my book is about, because I feel like this is the message and the support we need as women, to know that we have all these resources inside of us, but we have, we've sort of lost about how do we find that? How do we cultivate that inside of us? And it's totally possible. And yes, it takes a commitment to yourself, to love yourself, to show up for yourself, and keep doing the work to break those old patterns that are just in our lineage, right? They're in our ancestry. This place of women have their place and they shouldn't speak out and we shouldn't offend, all these stories that are in our energy bodies, literally. Like, we have to keep being observant and aware, because it's in us and we have to keep working with it so we can heal it and really step forward into this new story. The new story is women knowing who we are, not having to fight to be us, but to show up and more just know who we are and be us, right? It's like super simple, but it's not, because we have to get all that fear out of the way. We have to get all those ways that we get stuck in the stories out of the way, and the resistance we can get into, right? Because men and the patriarchy, they may not see us, they may not be able to see us yet, but we have to see us. We have to know who we are and keep doing the work so we get more and more connected with our, what I call personal power, right? In the Toltec, we all come in with a level of energy. In the Toltec work, it's all about, how do I save my energy and not spill it? Well, ladies, one of the ways we spill it is we get caught in the drama, right? We get caught in the drama. We get caught in our fear stories, and we feel small and we get scared. We get stuck in all these outside things, right? We get caught in fear. That's a huge way that we lose energy. When we get caught in the fear of, oh my God, this didn't work and that's it, I'm giving up, right? It's an easy place for our ego mind to go. All these ways that we lose energy. And then we feel small. We feel not good about ourselves. And then we're sort of, we're kind of creating our own little trap. And so the new concept of the new feminism is, how do we empower ourselves by going within? Let me work with myself and let me catch those fear stories. Let me notice where I'm getting caught in my own little dramas, and let me recenter. Let me get in my body. Let me do some breathing and connecting and grounding so that I hold on to myself, right? And then what else? I can connect with divine spirit. I can have my spiritual connection that helps me. There's a million ways that we can do it. And in my book, I try and keep it very clear and concise so that it's easy, but the actual practices that are capable within each chapter are, millions. But the main idea is, as women, we are responsible to take care of, respect, and honor our own personal power, okay? And that's how we're going to get more empowered as women, as a culture, to help support this healing that needs to happen on a worldwide level, all right? So I want to hear from you. I see we have a few more people here. What helps you connect with your empowerment, with your personal power as a woman? What is helping you right now so that you can be that strong voice of the embodied feminine, of the feminine that we need right now on the planet, in ourselves, in the world, to help heal things, right? what is it that you're doing? Does anybody want to share anything? Just write it in the chat and I'll see it. Okay. What I'm doing is I wrote this book that was just, a mind-blowing experience and incredibly challenging and beautiful all at the same time. And that was me trying to find my voice to be of service and share my empowerment. And then on a daily level, I'm always working on, Liz says yoga. Yes, Liz and I were in Kundalini yoga training years ago, and that was hugely empowering. And I include that more on a meditative level right now because my knee is kind of blown out. But the yoga is powerful. That's a great way that we connect into ourselves, right? We find those inner resources. We get in our bodies. We slow down the mind. And it's a beautiful way. It's an incredible path of healing and empowerment, yoga is. What else? What else do you guys do? I do my morning practice every day, even sometimes when it's just shorter than I want it to be. But I do it every day because that's my way to connect with Kate. That's my way to drop into my body awareness, my breath, and my spirit, right? And I open to receiving support. I open to the resources of the universe, right? So however we do it, we want to cultivate those practices that help you keep finding your truth, your center, your voice. Because as women, this is our job right now, not just for ourselves, but really for humanity. We are the potential gatekeepers, you could say, of helping this feminine come in to support all of us, men, women, the planet, all of it, right? Because men have been cheated too. They've been cheated to have a sense of connection in their own feminine because it's been denied to them as well. So this is not a male-female thing, but today we're talking about the new feminism sort of as that gateway, that doorway to empowerment as a species, really. So finding how you're going to stay more supportive, connected, aligning with what will empower you is the key. And I call it the new feminism because I feel like in so many ways, feminism has been categorized as this, against men, right? And it really isn't against men, but it's been played out that way because the patriarchy, in essence, has been created against women. So it looks like it's against men, but it's really not. The more we step out of that struggle, that this is about men, it's about us. It's about us breaking through that story of the patriarchal culture that we are not important, we don't have power, we need to be in this submissive role, right? We know that that's an old story we all over the generations have had to live with, and now that's changing. See, now it's changing because we know it's time and the consciousness is here to wake up and say, yeah, that's not really actually true. That's not actually true. And I get to do my personal work to show up as my empowered self, right? And I love to serve women and help others show up to do what they do to be empowered. So that's my question to you today is, how do you show up and empower yourself? And how is that going to help you keep stepping into being a voice, a face of the new feminism, which is to strengthen and honor and have respect for the feminine in ourselves and in others and help elevate that consciousness. Okay. So that's my question. So please feel free to add a comment, share your thoughts, and you can always reach me through my website, katedow.com. You can take my survey. You can go ahead and file an application for getting on a call with me and talking about what's holding you back And, my program is happening and up and developing here to be a powerful force to help women move through this. So keep believing in yourself, keep showing up, and I'll be talking with you soon.